Hi, my friends. So I am playing a little bit with my lighting. I usually have my round lighting that my camera goes with, and then my other two lights on at the same time. I'm gonna play around and see if I can just do this lighting as well as the intensity, and see if I can find just a better balance. I'm still kind of with so much stuff behind me and a little bit too busy behind me. It's kind of it's hard to find that right balance, especially with a little bit of light coming through. It shifts light in the room, just things like that. So I am playing with that a little bit in terms of just the look of things, for sure. But finally, we are about to dive into episode 10 of Sound Euphonium. I know. I've fallen behind very badly. We should have been done by now with the movies and on to Kaon by now, but we're not. Anyway, I just figured, okay, someone had made a really excellent suggestion that I'm like, I gotta record every day. I don't have to record every day. If I just record every other day and do a little bit of editing a little bit between there, then I'll be able to keep up with my work. So, I am kind of overwhelming myself, like, I gotta do this, I gotta record this day. I was like, no, just record like one video every other day at least, and I should be fine. So I'm gonna try to start implementing that. I do have a little bit of time on my hands, so I believe I'm gonna be recording at least a couple videos. Or no, I think I'll just record one actually. But hopefully you guys appreciated the Violent Evergarden movie posted in place of this, as well as the Layback Camp by the time this video comes out. The Violent Evergarden movie, the last one, which means all of my Violent Evergarden reactions should be posted. Pretty much all of season 1 and Room Camp will have been posted in terms of Laid-Back Camp or your camp, and then we'll be on to season 2. And then hopefully by the time this episode premieres, I'll have recorded the last couple episodes of Mob Psycho. I only have a couple episodes left on that one. I think, well, not counting the little extra episodes. I probably will get those recorded soon. And then we'll move on to Demon Slayer, which is the one that won the poll. I did multiple polls throughout the year of like what I should do next for the anime, and I really was kind of hoping Haikyuu would win, but Demon Slayer won, so I was like, okay, here we go. So that's the next anime, and that'll take place after Mob Psycho 100, which is really fun. And then my brother's really wants me to do Spy X Family, so we'll see. I kind of taken, like I said, so much. How I do anime is just completely, utterly copied, and I copy the format that Tiyubu uses. I like his format. I like how he presents the material. He's way more intelligent than me in terms of his research he does. He talks way more than I do. I keep my videos pretty short. He just does so much research, so definitely check out his work, especially if you enjoy someone who goes super deep dives into the production of the anime. Definitely check him out. He does so much research. It's worth looking at. And he's reacted to some of my favorite anime, but the way he does it is that he doesn't react to an anime until it's done, because he doesn't want to be a source of piracy as well as some other things. Also, the copyright monsters tend to be kind of more on the prowl if you're reacting at the same time something is airing. That was my issue with Laid-Back Camp Season 2. I was going to react to it just as it was airing, and even though my YouTube versions have no sound, partial translucent image, they still blocked it. I tried to like have them, and it just wasn't worth it. So I was like, okay, if I just wait a little bit, I'll be fine. And it looks like if I wait about halfway through the anime and I start reacting to it, I should be good. I would love to react as it's airing, but I think I kind of like the not being the main source of piracy, because I'm on reviews, as well as just a reminder that reactors, what we're really meant to do is not showcase the episode footage, but like, you should be going to the reactor to see them react. Their commentary, their thoughts, their backgrounds, how they, with their worldviews, unique worldviews, bring in, what do we bring into the commentary? And that's what it is. It's fan commentary. Instead of production commentary or actors commenting about what they did behind the scenes, it's we as a fan going, here are my thoughts and theories and da 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 da. Here's why I like this season, here why I was disappointed, things like that. And so that's kind of, I mean, reactor is kind of a funny term, but it's fan commentary. It's really what it is. And we've been doing fan commentary long before the whole thing of reacting came about. just through articles and other things. So the whole YouTube thing kind of really did that. And people have been doing reaction videos long before it really became a thing. It's funny to find older videos. I remember watching some older videos before reacting really became big. Like, only a few people did it. Torchwood Boy is one of those few people. There was someone, I can't remember who it was, she reacted to Legend of Korra, so I watched some of her videos. There were guys doing like brony reactions to the movie, so just like little videos like that before it really became big. So anyway, all that to say, we're gonna get an episode of Sound Euphonium recorded. Last episode was one of my favorite episodes, and it might be considered a little bit of a mixture of kind of. I say it was a groundwork episode. It laid the ground for the last few episodes of. Oh, I think I said that. Or I said that about Mob Psycho episode. But there wasn't a Mob Psycho episode that was just pure, you could tell it was just pure groundwork line. But I guess if you think about it, last episode wasn't really, no, it wasn't a ground laying episode. It was, let's give an insight to a character who has been the most mysterious character out of everyone. And this is why I applaud KyoAni. And other anime studios do this too. They're good at this too. But it's not just them. Is when you can actually watch an animated character and figure out what they're thinking and get a read on them. Like, I think they're like this, or I think they're like this. Kosaka is hard to read, but at the same time, you're given insight into her, so you can read her. Little moments, especially, we can read her because, I think the reason we can read Kosaka pretty well is because Kumiko can read her fairly well. And so that lets us kind of be able to read her and their sound and just all the voice acting and little twitches. But Asuka is hard to read. I look at her and I'm like, I don't know what she's thinking. No one does. And I think that's because we do really see this anime through Kumiko's eyes for the most part. Even when we see other characters doing things. And so it is interesting that we can't read Asuka. And they animate her and voice act her so well that we can tell when a smile is sincere and insincere. Like last episode when she was smiling with Kumiko was playing, we were like, that's a real smile. Kumiko said the same thing. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is good animation. Where even we, the audience, can see an hand animated character and go, I know what they're thinking, without any commentary. Like, that's crazy awesome. And we finally got to see inside of Asuka's mind in a way that no one else has. And that's kind of the brilliance of Kumiko, is that there's something about her. So she's so refreshingly blunt and straightforward, even though she doesn't want to be, that it kind of, she's like a breath of fresh air. There are people that I met in college that are someone who is very passive-aggressive. Not maybe passive, but even more passive and kind of beating around the bush and not really being straight to the point. Not just because I have communication problems, but just not being straight to the point, kind of avoiding things. People who were just so blunt and kind of just said it like it was and wasn't afraid, like, I don't care what you think about me. Not in a rude way, but just kind of in a straightforward way. Though Kumiko comes across rude sometimes, so does this other guy. It's a breath of fresh air for those of us who kind of like skirt around things. And Asuka's the kind of person, I think because of her mom, she's the kind of person who skirts around things. She knows how to like not say something. But she works so hard and she's so pretty and she's so well respected that everyone looks to her for help and like leadership because of just how she is. And it's those great moments where for the first time, I guess in a while, I'm assuming, that Asuka can kind of breathe a little bit and chill and just kind of say, hey, this is what it is. This is where I am. Kumiko probably, and she can say that to Kumiko because she knows Kumiko's not a blabber. She doesn't gossip. If she mentions anything, she does it because she thinks she's helping. But I have faith that everything that Asuka mentioned to her, she's not gonna really bring up. But again, it's this thing where it's Asuka coming back. Her grades dropped, which is why she had to leave the band. And why she resigned. The question is she gonna come back? Like a great moment. I don't know. Is this gonna be because they don't have the beauty of Asuka's playing, and they have individuals who are gonna work really hard, but two individuals who Kumiko's really good, but she's only really just starting to get a sound quality to her that Asuka already has. So is that what's gonna keep them from winning the nationals? Is that they have a couple players who are good and work hard, but the sound quality is not quite there. And you see that with the really talented, like hard-working people with I forget our bluebird, our oboist, her name, as well as Rita. The more they play and the more they let their emotions and all that run through that, the better sound quality they get. Kumiko is just starting to get a good sound to her. Natsuki doesn't have that sound yet, and so that could really affect things. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. So I blathered on long enough. If you're watching on YouTube, there's no sound, partial translucent image, so you can follow along. Sometimes I pause during the halfway point, though I haven't been recently. I only do so if I have a lot of commentary. No countdown timer with that, but I can't talk today. No countdown timer with that, but there's a link below if you want to click it. So without further ado, let's dive in. These cookies look good. That was a real smile. So it looks like we are continuing on with this episode. I mean, with this story arc, which is great. I like this intro. I love the fact that after their performance, the whole thing turned into color. But we can thank Triple Q for this. Every time I hear this, I just also start hearing Party in the USA as the lyrics. Is there anything else that I'm missing in here? I love the color, all the art. I like how we get the characters' personalities by how they sit, too. And based upon their instrument. So this was usually where it turned into color. Or right around that, like up to this. I do hope we get more into the sister a little bit. And her relationship with Kumiko, because she was pivotal in helping her and Shuichi. And we got that beautiful moment. And then we're gonna get a little bit more into Taki Sensei and his background too, just about who his wife was and stuff like that. But anyway, I'll be getting more into her because she did encourage both Kumiko and Shuichi to play, and they work hard and they're playing, they love it. Shuichi's a good boy. We're not gonna drag him down. I think some people drag him down, maybe, but he's a good boy. She wanted to go so badly. She's really sad. Still get on your train. Oh, I drew the lights. I don't remember ever seeing lights in the New York subways. Obligato. Ooh. They all are so, like, He's funny too. I think the boys are kind of underrated on this show because it's such a girl fucker show. Girl. Hmm. So Kumiko did kind of tell her. I guess Asuka would have been okay with that then. Hmm. 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 So she's kind of blown up as this big, amazing character in their eyes. They're like, oh no, she really is human. They have a different vibe. A little disappointed there, huh? Bad cook, huh? Yeah, how do you do that? You would have to like not pay attention. Mm. Mm. Not always, no. Just watch your sister effortlessly cook. Interesting how I look at the same situation differently. Hmm. Hmm. Ooh, it's really belly scratched up. I like how she messed up the food, cleaned up her mess, and then she's like, I'm taking a nap, you can cook dinner. It's a very sisterly thing to do, for sure. Mm. I think I'm gonna pause for the halfway point. There's a lot that I'm just thinking about, but I haven't said anything yet. Mm. I like how there's a little PSA, right? Yeah. Of like, hey, don't be obnoxious. Mm. I wonder, they probably still do the CDs. They don't really, because CDs are probably cheaper, maybe, in comparison than a thumb drive. Aww. Kumiko. Baby girl. Oh. She got okay. Halfway point. She got so overwhelmed with her feelings all at once. She just started crying in public. Which, by the way, no matter where you are in the world, that's gonna garner attention. She's trying so hard to hide it. That poor baby girl. Okay, so she's been so focused on with her sister, and man, she's kind of forgotten a little bit of just like spending time with Reina and hanging out with her, as well as like what Reina's going through with the whole Taki Sensei thing. Again, I love with Hazuki and Sapphire that they are. I keep wanting to call her Opal, but I know it's not it. Sapphire that they love, including Kosuga. Like, hey, come on, come hang with us. We saw that when they were at the pool. You know, Kumiko was off doing other things. They're a little awkward at first there, because clearly it's really Reina and Kumiko are like friends. But Hazuki and Sapphire do a good job of like incorporating her and hanging out with her even when Kumiko's not around, which is really sweet of them. Because they're kind of friends with her as well. And I experienced that once. I didn't realize it was true, but when in middle school, I had a friend who her family moved to Alabama. And when she left, the little friendship group that we had, weirdly enough, fell apart. I didn't realize that we were connected like through her. I don't think we did realize either. And in middle school, it's very cliquey. It's where you find your factions and stuff. I was at the loser table, by the way. Sixth grade year, we still were trying to figure each other out. So I liked sitting with the popular, pretty sporty girls. Cause I really wanted to be one of them. And there were some real jerks there. I had a girl literally, not like one of the actual nice, like, sporty girls, not legit ones, but the ones who kind of, like, latched onto them, had asked me why I was sitting with them. So yeah, people are mean like that. The other girls, well, they were all super nice, and they had good grades, and they worked hard, and they were good at sports as well. Just one of those really, one of those kids. And they still hung out together, but I about halfway through my 7th grade years when you really start finding your cliques. And I found mine was the losery, I don't fit anywhere table, pretty much. That's where I was sitting. And that was between the kind of skatery, but more so potential stoner table, but they weren't because they were kids, and the rowdy, always in trouble black boys. That was the table I sat between, which was great when you're a skinny, small white girl. They like to tease you. Really mean, by the way. Which had happened a lot with me. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But 8th grade year, we just liked sitting with each other and being around each other. And then when she moved, a couple of the other people left for other tables, which was interesting. And the idea, what's nice about Hazuki and Sapphire pulling Kusaka again is that even if Kumiko went to another school, for instance, they would still try to be friends with her. Now, maybe eventually, because they're first year high schools, by the time they're seniors, maybe they wouldn't hang out as much unless they all stay in the band still. But Kumiko is the thread that keeps them together, or the little anchor of all three of them. But the other two try not to have that. So they seek out Kosaka. She doesn't really seek out them. But it was kind of cute to see her, Kumiko, a little disappointed that Kosaka had gone home. I'm just kind of curious to see like where that thought process is going. And we got what I wanted, which was an insight to the sister and what she's thinking, what she wants. And that moment of like sharing what you're feeling, what you're going through over something mundane like doing the dishes and cooking is true to life. You know, it's what you end up doing. It's kind of getting your frustrations out. And it's a very sisterly thing to do is if one of you starts something, makes a mess, and the other person, as they're working on it, walks away. My mom does that, though, to us a lot. But the whole interaction was just perfect sister interaction. And then poor Kumiko's so legitimately hit with sadness, she starts crying in public. Yeah, she doesn't want red puffy eyes, because that would definitely stick out. Nah, she doesn't. That's a fake smile. And now that she's got an insight into Suka, she can now pick up when she's being fake and when she's being real much easier. That's what Asuka's doing. Oh, I didn't think that would connect. Beautiful. She got the answer. Oh, that was such a good cinematic. She got the answer. That's such a good cinematic parallel, guys. That's so good. So, is it always packed lunch? Do you always eat in class, or is there like a cafeteria as well? I'm just curious about that. Asuka. Asuka. Ooh. Mm. Again, she's seeing the same situation very differently. What if you were wrong? Gosh, she's being difficult. Yes, they do. Hmm. They literally rushed her when she first entered school and said, "What's the verdict?" Oh gosh, she's reading her back. Oh, now she's being cruel. Now she's just being mean because she's in her. No, they won't. Hmm. She is a kid. Gosh. Guys. Y'all. Oh my gosh, this voice actress is fire. Suka. Oh. Oh, she's shaking. Oh, she can see her shaking. She's like, no. Because I think if she looked in the eyes, she would have started crying. Oh, she misses her best friend. No reply. Read, but no reply. Don't cold shoulder him. Hmm. Mm. Well, that was intense. Oh my gosh, the voice actress is so good. And I love how the more that she spoke, the more Asuka's just got stripped away. Oh, look at them. I mean, look at them all focusing. Oh, it's so cool. Top 30 of the mock exam. Oh, she had her own plan too. Wow, so she took a mock exam and made it into the top 30 students of the country. That is very impressive. Look at Raina. What is going on with her? Like, the heck? Oh, it was so beautiful. That was such a good episode. Like the crying, the voice acting, the scene setup. Some of these funky angles were a little irritating, but it was so good. Twice, Kumiko with just full, brilliant, blunt elephant energy just swept everything away. And Asuka was left with none of her, false ground to stand on. And that voice acting was so good because sometimes the voice acting, I've heard bad voice. My sister's watching a Catwoman cartoon right now. Animation, terrible. Voice acting, not great. There is no connection because you hear these performances by these voice actors, but there seems to be no connection between what the performer's giving and what the cartoon's doing. And the cartoon, the way they move the mouth, is the worst. And it's styled a little bit like Japanese anime, but it's terrible. So you hear really terrible like cartoons like that, voice acting, which makes you appreciate how fantastic these voice actors are, especially the Kumiko one. She is so good. Gosh, I don't think I've heard anyone as good as her. And there's some other really good ones where like, wow, that was amazing. That was a great delivery. That was a great performance. But her, the way that she delivers her lines is impeccable. So I was going to record another episode, but since episode 10 really finished episode 9, it's nice. It'd be good to stay with like 11 and 12. And I think there's a 13, 14. 14, I'm not sure if it's the last episode, if it's another season 2, like another OVA. But absolutely brilliant. This episode, these are my favorite. This episode was so good because it gave us beautiful insight into the sister, a little bit, and that insight gave her Kumiko insight into Asuka, which helped her kind of bust up the facade in the ground and the kind of, again, the shaky ground that she was standing on. I love that moment where she's crying and she's like pats her head, which is such like a comforting like Japanese thing. It's not really an American thing. But if you're upset or something, like a hug or someone like touching you can sometimes can just like really bring comfort. So she's so sweet in that. And then she sees that Asuka's legs are shaking, so she's holding it together. She's like, "Can I look at your face?" I like how she says, and she's like, "No." If you do, you're cursed. There's like a little bit of Asuka humor. But I love that so much. That was so fun and good and amazing. And the voice acting was so good. I don't know what's up with Raina or what's up with Raina or what's going on with her or why she seems to be having issues. I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know if it's a Taki sensei thing and she's realized about the woman and all of that, and maybe she knows that Kumiko knows and upset. I don't know. But she's kind of ghosted her a little bit. Like, she read her text but didn't reply back. She seems to be going home early a lot. Kind of actively almost avoiding Kumiko. It's probably the first time they've seen each other since the band went on that little bit of break for exams. But I do love that moment where she was still focused on her studies and she kind of had a plan. She made it into the top 30, which is amazing. Very impressive. And that, and also the fact that she plays an instrument, at least in the US, like her being a really strong leader in an extracurricular activity and having amazing test scores and amazing scores like that, can probably in the States or even in Japan ensure she gets into a really good university if she chooses. But I don't know if she was going to use that as a way to have her mom let her be back in band, but because I think of Kumiko's honesty and her kind of like busting up Asuka's facade, it really was, I think really was like, okay, I am going to use this to show my mom that I'm still doing really well in school, that I can do band and this. And she did. And because she's an upperclassman, the other upperclassmen kind of knew first before Kumiko. And I think she made them not tell Kumiko. She's like, oh, she's so mean sometimes. Where Kumiko is kind of sort of the reason that Asuka's coming back, in essence. And yes, no one told her she was coming back. I love that so much. It is so mean. She can be mean. And I think she was hurt and angry, and that's why she was a little cruel to Kumiko there. She did see right through Kumiko. Because again, Asuka is very, very observant and she picks up on things really well, but she's kind of quiet and a little sneaky about it. And I wonder if she's become so quiet and observant and kind of roundabout because of her mom. I'm wondering. We kind of see that a little bit with Assassination Classroom with I'm blanking on his name. Our main blue-haired guy. I am just blanking on his name, but we found out the reason that he was the way he was and he was so good at certain things was because of his mom and how abusive she was, so he had to learn how to go around certain things and do certain things a certain way. There's a lot of certainty in there. Anyway, I adore this anime. I love that moment, and clearly, Asuka seems so genuinely surprised. People actually did like her and wanted her back on band. But she, I guess, was trying to find a way to make herself feel better or what. And she was like, "Are you sure?" And it's like, she kind of gaslit her a little bit. But Kumiko's like, "No, I know my own mind. I know what I need to say." And she just said it. And she just was so emotional and crying, which completely, if someone's like crying, it always throws you off. Sometimes I would try to say something to somebody about, like my boss, about the family situation, what's going on with my family, and just things like that. And I would start tearing up. She goes, don't keep going. If it's gonna make you cry, like, don't. I know you're probably, not because she didn't want me to cry, but she didn't want me to be embarrassed and cry in public at work. So it does kind of take you back. You're like, oh my gosh. But I really adored this episode. It was so great. A beautiful conclusion. Asuka's back. And lots of people are really happy to see her. So yeah, that's to hear. Kumiko really brings something interesting and fun to her interactions, to the people she's with. It's really cool to see. It's very lovely. Anything else to say? No, that's it. It was a great episode. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your patience in terms of these episodes coming out. Keep in mind that after we do the second season, I do want to do the 2 movies. And based upon people's comments about the order of things, Liz and Bluebird should come first, and then the finale movie. I do hope someday we'll get season 3, but perhaps season 3 of Sound Euphonium is going to be like season 3 of One Punch Man. It's never going to happen. Dang it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies, and I'll see you next time.